Right. This question outline the fraud. Okay, so this is basically a fraud investigation type question. Okay, let's look at this part. It's 1 July. You are manager of Forensic Department of Aster, a firm which provides audit and a range of other services to its client. You have received a request from Baker Co. to perform an engagement in relation to insurance claim, which company is going to submit. So you are doing an insurance claim. Insurance claim is in respect of payroll fraud, which was recently discovered. So they do have a payroll fraud that you want to now consider. The engagement would be conducted as agreed upon procedure engagement to quantify the loss to be claimed. So this has got no opinion. Baker Co. is not listed, and is not currently an audit client of your firm. So there's no real issue, but there's still acceptance issue. The company manufactures medical supply for sale to hospital. Baker is wholly owned by a foreign trust, beneficiaries of which include current board of directors. A trust is a legal entity that owns cash and other assets on or investment on behalf of another entity or individual. So this is trust fund, but whenever you have a trust, you do have to know the background check. Okay, so this is the background check is kind of important for this type of client. Now, Baker is well respected in the medical sector, routinely donates 5% of annual profit to global healthcare charity. Okay, now you got the outline of fraud, details of request from Baker. Let's look at the requirement first. And I'm going to set this up first quickly. So evaluate the matter in respect of quality management, which should be considered in accepting engagement, and explain the specific aspects of terms of engagement that should be agreed. You should not consider aspects relating to any police investigation in A1. Okay, that's kind of settled. It's now 10 July. Your firm has accepted the engagement. Recommend procedure to quantify the loss for the purpose of insurance claim. So we can kind of do this one quite straightforward. A1, A2, and we just split that out. B, procedures to be performed to quantify the loss. Okay, then you got the other one was aspects of terms of engagement. So you do have the aspects of terms of engagement that you need to agree upon. And then here you have the matters in respect of quality management that should be considered before accepting. So matters to be considered before accepting the engagement. I got 10 marks here. I got 10, 4, and 6 marks here. Okay, that's about 20 marks. Okay, now I'm going to go into the question and see what we can do about the case. Well, this is about the fraud itself, and therefore you need to know about the issue. But before we jump into this part, you do need to think about the concept involved here and what the company is doing. Okay, the payroll fraud was discovered by following commencement of an upgrade in the company's management information system. Okay, that was an upgrade. Okay, when the system was upgraded at head office June, analysis performed highlighted anomaly in staff costs, margins at head office. Okay, for the head office, the regional office will receive an upgrade next 3 months, which means there could be the fraud at the other zone also. Finance directors reviewed payroll list for the head office and identified 2 names on the list which they know are people who left the company. Right? Both individuals left the company in 2003 but have not been removed from payroll records. These people are still being paid, but the monthly payments are being made into a same bank account the beneficiary which is not yet known. Over the 2 years since they'll have, the finance director has calculated 30,000 in total have been paid into unidentified bank. They already calculated it, okay? Finance director is not sure if this is the full extent of the issue or if further fraudulent activity exists in payroll. Right. If you look at this one specifically, we can straight away go, when you read this story, you can straight away go into the procedures that need to be done for this case. Okay, for example, you need to know who's authorizing the payroll, okay, and who can put in the levers, and who's removing the levers, and who's adding the joiners, okay, adders and joiners. This is quite important. Finance director is not sure the extent of full issue or further fraudulent activity exists across payroll. Losses are expected to be covered by company's insurance policy. However, this requires an independent firm to quantify the loss. Okay, fine. They need a verification. Baker wish to submit this claim within the next 3 weeks. Timing is kind of short, but never mind. That will be part of your acceptance issue. So you can resolve prior to annual shareholder meeting on 1 August. So there's a deadline here, and it's pretty close to where you are. Right, let's look at this part. So you already know the two names, not yet covered by everybody. Okay, so let's look at this issue. Procedure for the loss. Well, we know there's a bank account. Okay. Use data analytics. Period and months. Goes employee. Police. Well, you're looking at whether or not you are Baker staff. Baker Co. whether it's an outsider that has managed to breach. Okay. Payroll. You may want to reconcile. Reconcile HR database and payroll database for staff. Well, remember the outline fraud is they left already over 2 years since they left, so I might want to extend to 5 years. Obtain listing of staff that have left for past 5 years. Review all the names. Okay, that should be looking at it. Okay, also you want to see done. Those are procedures to be performed for this job. Kind of easy 6 marks to be obtained. Okay, nothing serious here. Okay, now the engagement, terms of engagement. When we look at the terms of engagement, you're looking at it and saying like, okay, what are the things that we need to look for this engagement specifically? So this engagement, we can see that there are specific idea, purpose, let's look at the purpose of the report. result of payroll fraud. Okay. Liability restriction. Nature of engagement. Not an assurance engagement, and only factual results from agreed upon procedures reported. Aster. Okay, you need to agree on the nature of acceptance. Okay, who's the addressee? Who gets the report? Insurer or baker? Format. Done. These are things that you can handle quickly. Okay, requirement, procedure to be done, identify, address, who's the report for, nature of engagement, who's the responsible party, what's the purpose of this job. Okay, the next one that you got there is going to be Well, we're going to look at method to be considered before accepting the engagement. Well, the normal one we do is ICE, okay, ICE, integrity, competence, and ethics. Okay, so let's look at the main things that you should be accepting. Okay, let's go to the first part. Major areas to be concerned before accepting are the integrity of the client, right? These are the major areas. So we talk about integrity first. Management, obtain that there is no money laundering risk involved. Trusts are complex. So there might be some money launderer involved. Just remember, there might be some money launderer. Detailed understanding of current auditors. Banker, legal counsel, and need to get permission. Okay, that's this part about the company. Next idea we're going to go into is the idea of engagement. We talk about ethics. Nature of the business does provide indication that okay, let's look at it. Let's go on to the engagement itself. Understand the entity, organization, structure, business model, and also financing. This will require beneficiary, owners, and also setup used. View of trust deed. Determine whether the procedures right. Last part we're going to go into is going to be called the performance of the engagement. Okay, let's look at the last part here. Adequate competence in Aster, forensic department already established. This means that should be experienced staff to deal. Okay, the other thing you should be aware of is there is enough human resources to manage the job. Availability. Okay, right. Do need to be aware of IT resources needed for the job and whether this is available for the task. Should be compatible with Baker. Independence of the firm have to be considered. Other clients or staff that have involvement with Baker. Okay, that should be enough for this part. Okay, enough matters to be considered. You're done with the issues to be done for this question.